Hi, everybody. My name is Antonio Luis Aulicino, and I'm here to introduce our guest, Dr.Johannes Vrana. Our guest will come here to Brazil, and he will give us a course. And the course will be about artificial intelligence, digitalization, and digital transformation in energy. A very exciting subject, a very updated and important subject. Dr. Johannes Vrana is a physicist, PhD in introduction thermography, author of the book, The World of Energy 4.0, which Abendi launched in Portuguese in the last edition of CONAEND. He is also editor of the Journal of Energy, International Consultant, and winner of the Robert McMaster Gold Medal, which was granted by ASNT, our sister in the United States, and also the Curzon Prize 2025. He's founder of the Vrana Company, and he leads innovative projects in a lot of different companies around the world. Dr. Vrana, thanks a lot. And please share with us your ideas and what you will give us in this course.
Thanks a lot for the introduction. And thanks a lot for inviting me to Brazil. It will be so great to finally come to CONAEND. Unfortunately, 2 years ago, I couldn't. I already had some other things I had to go to, but this year I will be coming. And there will be the short course. And let's have a short look into what this course is all about. So, as you can already see, artificial intelligence, digitalization, and digital transformation. For me, the three of them build really the basics for NDE 4.0. But let's have a little bit a closer look into them today, and a lot more than on, I think it's August 12th. So when I started with this whole topic of NDE 4.0, I did a survey on what people think about NDT, especially what people think negative about NDT. And this was one response. NDT does not have any value at all. It only sorts out parts that in reality are good. I don't want it. I would never ever do it, but my customer insists on it. I would prefer spending the money into further improvement of my production. Now you can imagine I do not agree with that comment, but there is a lot what we can learn from it. And I guess most of you have heard similar comments from some customers. That NDT is seen as a cost center and not something bringing value. Now, this customer also tells us what he wants to have. He wants to improve his production or his maintenance or something else. But what he doesn't see is actually that NDT can be the tool to improve the production, to improve the maintenance. By looking at all the results we got over the last years and statistically analyzing. But what do we do with our results? We print them, we sign them, and we put them into archives. Whether they are paper-based like here or in some ERP system in some PDFs. The data becomes not usable. And that's one big challenge for the NDT industry. But there is more to it. If we think about NDT, in NDT we still have a lot of manual acquisition processes. Even that we use digital technologies, it's still a lot of manual acquisition. We also do, most of the evaluation is done by humans. Most of the reports are created by humans, you typing them into Excel or handwriting them. We do the physical archiving, and we have to face it, NDT can be a major bottleneck in a lot of operations. And if we think about the current situation, at least here in Germany, where I come from, I see that we have a severe labor shortage. We don't have enough NDT professionals. Most of our NDT specialists are above 50. NDT is not an attractive field, especially not for young generations. And we have, at least in Germany, a negative demographic trend. On top of that, we have increasing inspection volumes, we have higher cost pressures, and so on. Now, my company, what we are doing, we are not producing any hardware, we are not producing any software, we are a consulting company. We help the companies to overcome those issues and also to see, okay, what can be the best inspection method, what are the requirements, and actually where can they go as far as automation goes, to help them with all those issues coming up and the issues we have known for 10 years plus. Now that's the one part of the company. The other part of the company is where we do a lot of R&D. We have a lot of R&D companies we are participating in. If you look around the internet, you will find a lot of publications like here, they already mentioned the World of NDE 4.0 book and also the Handbook of NDE 4.0, and I will be talking about those two a little bit later. Now, before really getting into AI, digitization, digital transformation, let's take one step back and let's see where this all fits in. And so if we think about our society, then we see in our society, in our ecosystem, we have on the one side governance, everything which is associated with our countries, our legal systems, and so on. We have our companies and we have our consumer groups. Each of those boxes we can actually look a little bit sharper into. For example, the companies. For a company, we need policies, we need processes, and we need leadership. And to run each and every process, we need procedures, we need equipment, and we need people. And some of those processes, they will need NDT equipment and NDT people. Now, this is kind of the industrialized society and the end of the second industrial revolution. With the third revolution came digitization. Came all those computers and those digital tools we are now so used to have. Now, what is digitization? Digitization is really on an equipment level. It is the conversion from something analog into something digital. Whether it's a sheet of paper, we put it on a scanner and we produce a PDF out of it, that's digitization. Whether we take some analog audio and create a CD out of it, a CD is a digital audio. It's digitized audio. And the same is true for NDT. If we look at digitized radiography, we're storing all those images as a digital file. So it's what we did is with digitization, we moved from a lot of various analog media to storing everything with the same zeros and ones. Now, once we had all of the information digital, people thought immediately, okay, how can we use that information, which is now in the computer, to simplify our lives? And this is digitalization. So now we are talking about processes. How to improve isolated processes. Now, digitalization starts with, let's say, a simple Excel tool. A simple Excel tool all of us have on our computers to calculate something. It's digitalization. It can also be your ERP tool where you have all your numbers from your company and use it to simplify your, everything around your company. It can also be an AI solution. Now, and then there we come to what is AI. Everybody's talking about it nowadays and everybody has a different view. So what's AI? Now, AI, the name is actually not new. Artificial intelligence, that name was, I think it was created something like 1956 at a conference in England. It was 12 scientists sitting together for about 2 months. And during those 2 months, they already came up with that term, artificial intelligence. And with programs which seem as capable as a human. Programs which are able to mimic human behavior. That's the idea of artificial intelligence. Now, how you do that? That's not in the definition of artificial intelligence. And what all of us are thinking about when we talk about artificial intelligence, we're coming to that now. So, but before we get there, so if you want to program your computer, you can have algorithms. Algorithm is something like an if the result is okay, then the part can move on. Or 1 + 5 = 6. All those are classical deterministic algorithms. We already talked about artificial intelligence, programs to mimic human behavior. And now within this group of artificial intelligence, we have something called machine learning. So those are algorithms, what we learned about before, but algorithm with the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed, which can adapt to user behavior. And such machine learning things we're all used to having. For example, if you go to Amazon, and Amazon already 10 years ago, they told you, oh, you should also be buying this and this. What they used back then was machine learning. And now we are coming to what everybody thinks that artificial intelligence is about. And that's also called deep learning, which is a subset of machine learning. But now we are using neural networks. So we all know that our brain uses neural networks with some neurons and some connections in between to transfer all the information. With the deep learning or the artificial neural networks, we're trying to mimic this by giving something similar using computer technologies. So we are building networks. Now, this was the basis really for what normally everybody was thinking about what artificial intelligence was. Now, that changed around 2017. 2017, some scientists from Google published an article, and that changed the complete world of artificial intelligence, because that was really the starting point of the so-called foundational models, which we all know now as large language models or general pre-trained transformers, or we have a couple of different names, but in essence, it's all the same. And those are deep learning models which are trained on vast data sets so that they can be applied across a wide range of use cases with only slight adaptations. And that's the new thing behind all the GPT, Gemini, and you name them. Now, what do we need in NDT? Speaking about AI, the first thing we need to do is if we see a result, let's say this is the result of our inspection. It's the result of a UT inspection. It looks perhaps a little bit weird because it was done by using SAFT or ultrasonic reconstruction technologies. And what we can immediately see as humans, we can see this huge round thing in the middle. No, that's the bore. You will find it in every component. So we need AI to identify and then kind of throw it away. And then we need the AI to identify the things which are important. And those are the defects. We have one here. We have actually two right next to each other right here. And there is one more, which is right close to that bore, which for humans can be really hard to identify. So we extract features. And once we extracted those features, we segment them. Now, this is one example. Other examples could be we identify the objects. What is actually the object? What's the background? to identify where do we see the weld, where is the bore, and where are the indications. So it's feature extraction and segmentation. So that's the first step we would need from AI. Second step, classification. Is it a group indication or a single indication? And once we have classified it, then how big is it? Now, we could do something like a length measurement. And if we think about it, this again is actually a feature extraction. So we have those three things. We need feature extraction, we need classification, and we need segmentation. And we need all three of them done by some AI. Now, I will not go into the details today, but in the course, you will learn how you could do all of them for NDT. Now, there is one more step in this whole chain. Now that we have all the information about all our indications, we have classified them, we determined the size, then you might want to also write a report. So we would need an AI to write reports. So this whole segment, AI, blockchains, drones, whatever, this is all digitalization. Those are tools to simplify isolated tasks. And I like them because this is really digitalization is making NDE processes more efficient. And I also like to call this Industry 4.0 for NDE. As you can already see, there's a second part to this. So we are now here at a process level. So now think about the solution, think about the situation. You have 2,000 Excel tools in your company. You have your ERP system. You have an inspection planning tool. You have a report creating tool. You have whatever in your company. And what do you have to do? Oh, you get your order in your ERP system, then you take all that information, hand copy it over to the other system to plan your inspections. Then you send this out to your inspector, perhaps print it, so that he can do the inspection. Then you finally scan it back in, and you have a lot of hand labor in all that process. A lot of hand labor, which is error prone, because we're just copying data. And we're using humans, which are not really good in repetitive tasks, but which are way better in creative things. But we're using the humans, which have a 5-year NDT training, and then we are using them to copy data from A to B. That's not the way it should be. We should give all the repetitive tasks, all those tasks nobody wants to do, to the computers. And this is exactly where digital transformation comes into play. Now we are going one level higher. And what do we transform? We transform how we are doing our business using digital technologies. Digital technologies are just the enabler, but we are transforming how we do the business by combining all sorts of tools which can now work hand in hand. Now you can already imagine that there is one box missing. And that's something we identified quite a while ago, me and Rippy Singh. Oh, before I come to that, there is one more thing. Yeah, I already showed this slide with the digitalization. And I already said there is a second part to it, which I like to call NDE for Industry 4.0, integrating NDE as a data source into the industrial Internet of Things, into digital twins, into agentic AIs. And that is where we have the digital transformation. And this is where NDE can become one of the best data sources for Industry 4.0. So now coming back to what I wanted to say before, there's one more box missing. And Rippy and myself, we call this digital transfigure. This is where our governments, our companies, and our consumer groups start working together, start digitally exchanging data, so that finally we get a digitally transfigured ecosystem. Now, for sure, We will not be going into much detail during the course, and also not in this presentation, because the relation to NDT is very weak. But it's still an interesting topic, and it kind of gives the complete picture of this digital penetration journey we have been taking all over the years. And we have written a paper which was published in December 2023, and which you can access right here. So, how to get started? A good point to get started is always knowing a lot. So a course is a great starting point, and you can see we have done such courses since about 2019, with the usual break between 20 and 22. And on August 12th, there is this course at Abendi where we will be getting into all the details of artificial intelligence, digitalization, and digital transformation in NDT. Now, here's a QR code which you can use to register, but this one doesn't give you the discount, so use the one which Abendi will provide you later on. There is also an NDE 4.0 conference series. The last one was in March 2025 in Bangalore in India. The next one will be in North America, most likely in Canada. There is the Handbook of NDE 4.0, which is a 2,000-page book written by something like 130 authors. I think it's 64 chapters in total. You can buy each chapter also individually in a digital format. The book itself, I wouldn't really buy it or I only would buy it if I'm a library or a big company, because the book itself costs around 600, 700 euros. But a lot of good content. So look into the table of contents and download the chapters you want to have. And then we have here the book, The World of NDE 4.0. Number one, available through ASNT in English, and also available in Portuguese language, available through Abendi. And I think we will also do a book sale during the conference in August, where you can also get my signature into your book. There's also an NDE 4.0 YouTube channel and NDE 4.0 Wikipedia page where you can actually learn a lot. Especially the Wikipedia page, we need your input. I'm not allowed to work on this article because I have a conflict of interest, so we need all of you to write something in that article. But all the education is good. It's a good starting point, but still, as Forbes assessed in 2016, 84% of all digital transformation initiatives fail. Why? If you look at here the reasons they found out, not one of them is technical. All of them are human-based. It's the employees don't like it, the manager wants a shiny toy, whatever. There's so many different human reasons. And just knowing the technology will not help you prevent those human reasons. But, as usual, we might be the problem, but we are also the solution. We can build a plan to actually make it successful. And the thing is, if you go towards digital transformation, it's a journey. You will have multiple steps. It's not your typical lean project where you simplify one specific task. It's something where you have to learn along the way. The end might not really be clear. You must create it. And if we think about the technology we have and about all the AI solutions which are on the market, every half year we see a new generation. We can throw away the old one. So we have a high technology obsolescence rate. And last but not least, we need new skills in our development teams. And how can we do that? This is where we offer those multi-day workshops where we help companies to start on their journey and then help them by consulting those companies helping them all the way through so that they can run it successfully afterwards. And that is the third business segment of my company, which was started somewhere during Corona. And now it's time for some questions and answers. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you, Dr. Vrana. Excellent introduction. I think that everybody is really excited now about the course. I have a couple of questions for you, and I'd like that you come back again about this subject that you mentioned in your presentation. Out of your experience, why do digitalization efforts and digital transformation initiatives fail? What is behind that? Could you talk a little bit more about this?
Yeah, as I already said, it's mostly the human factor, but out of our experience, there was one key factor, which was in most cases the one factor which the companies didn't really think about. And that's really, we built a huge roadmap with them. And finally, then it came to, okay, now we have to implement this roadmap. And then they said, oh, we have this great guy who knows about everything and he should be doing it. Now he has a workload of about 120%, and now he should be doing that on top of all of them. Now, if he is really excited, then he will prioritize this and become successful. But the likelihood is that he will also always be dragged down by his management. Oh, you have to work on this day-to-day jobs. That is really something to get successful. It will require efforts, and you need an internal guy to run something like that, who is motivated, who wants to do it, and he is not overloaded from the beginning. Now, there is also a second one, which we saw in a lot of places, and this is that the people who want to run it don't have the buy-in from management. But this is what we saw. We can get usually the people the buy-in from the management by preparing a roadmap which has all those tiny human things included into it, so that finally management sees, oh yes, this will work. This is the difference.
Okay. A second question for you, it's regarding NDT. Are there already AI solutions available for the NDT market? How do you perceive this?
There are there are multiple companies who are on the way of producing them. There are some companies who are already a little bit further down the road. For example, there is the company TrueFlaw, run by Ika Virkonen, and they have now an AI solution which is running on an edge device. So on a small computer you directly have on your premise, which you can directly connect more or less to your probe, and it's mostly for ultrasonic inspections. And as far as I know, it's now qualified by EPRI to be used. On the other side, there is, for example, from the company BC Consult, which is a German-based RT company. They have now also an AI solution to evaluate the pictures, to help the inspectors identify regions where they should be looking into. So there is more and more coming to the market, and I think the NDT market will actually have to change pretty quickly.
So this is my last question for you. How about the speed? How do you see this? The impact in the NDT market, and how quickly will AI change the NDT business?
If you would have asked me 5 years ago, I would have said NDT is a very conservative business. We have time. But by seeing what the development speed, which is actually currently coming, with all the agentic AIs being born now, I think that soon a lot of companies will start using a lot of AI in all over their industrial places. And at some point they will say, so why the heck do we have our smart factory with all AI all over the place, and in the middle of it we have NDT, where somebody takes that part of the belt, does some manual inspections, write some report by hands, and then scans it back in. I think we will get, within the next 5 years, in certain industries, a huge pressure to evolve. And for me, it becomes to the point that an NDT specialist who knows how to operate AI will beat the one who doesn't know how to operate AI.
Okay. Well, Dr. Vrana, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. We look forward to meeting you here in person. If you are, as I mentioned before, if you are as excited as I am about this course, about this information, about these subjects, which are very important subjects, take a look in this QR code that you are seeing in your screen right now. And I have good news for you. With this QR code, you will get a special discount, and an exclusive discount that just through this QR code you can get. So the course will be in person or online course. So you can attend the course. So we look forward to see you here, and being with us, and being with Dr. Vrana, and getting this exclusive knowledge and information. So see you there, guys. Thank you.
See you soon.